So
kind
I'm
of
kind of
alone
alone
for
for
today's
today's
episode.
episode.
Kind of.
Kind of. So I'm kind of alone for today's episode. Kind of.
Hearing from the other Culips hosts as we
As
go
we
along,
go along. We will be hearing from the other Culips host as we go along. We will be hearing from the other Culips host as we go along.
For now, I'll talk to you directly. It's only me.
It's only me. But for now, I will talk to you directly. It's only me. So I'm kind of alone for today's episode. Kind of. We will be hearing from the other Culips host. We will be hearing from other Culips host as we go along. But for now, I will talk to you directly. It's only me.
The topic of this episode is 2021, and the plan is to take a look back at this year.
The topic of this episode is 2021, and the plan is to take a look back at this year. Take a look back at this year. The plan is to take a look back at the back. The plan is to take a look back at this year. Take a look back. Take a look back. The plan is to take a look back at this year.
The end of the year is a great time for introspection and
introspection. The end of the year is a great time. Is a great time for introspection. Introspection. The end of the year. The end of the year. The end of the year. The end of the year is a great time for introspection. 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 The end of the year is a great time for introspection. Introspection. And
it gives us an excellent opportunity.
Gives us an excellent opportunity. Gives us an excellent opportunity to reflect,
recenter, and motivate ourselves to achieve our goals and live our best life in the upcoming year ahead.
Recenter. Recenter means the year episode. He says it's a good opportunity to reflect on the past year and to recenter oneself. To recenter means to bring yourself, your emotions, your life in general back to center. In this sense, to be centered means to be balanced. For example, you might have been usually busy at work and couldn't spend enough time with your family. In this situation, you might want to recenter yourself by finding the proper balance between work time and family time. Want to recenter. The spelling recenter is used. However, in the US, the spelling recenter is more common. Both are pronounced the same way. Here are a couple more examples to recenter. How was your trip? It was amazing. I spent most of my time meditating on the beach. That sounds amazing, for sure. It was a good opportunity for me to recenter myself before starting my new job. 。  . 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。
。 . 。 . 。 .
Man, I'm so stressed because of work. Yeah. What do you usually do when you're stressed out? I found the best way for me to recenter myself is to go out for a hike in nature. No earphones, no music. I always come back refreshed. Recenter. Reflect, recenter, and motivate ourselves to achieve our goals. And live our best life in the coming year ahead. Live our best life. Live our best life. Goals and live our best life in the coming year ahead. Live our best life.
So guys, this will be the last episode of the year.
So guys, this will be the last episode of the year. And
what a busy year it's been here at Culips. We released over 75 regular episodes this year, plus many Fluency Files episodes as well. Fluency Files is our series that's exclusive for Culips members. So
Fluency Files is our series that's exclusive for Culips members. Fluency File is our series that's exclusive for Culips members. Fluency Files is our series that's exclusive for Culips members.
If you're not a Culips member, maybe you haven't heard them, but we also released a lot of those bonus episodes also.
So if you're not a Culips member, maybe you haven't heard them, but we also released a lot of those bonus episodes also.
Top of all that, Cassie.
Maybe you haven't heard them, but we also released a lot of those bonus episodes also. And on top of all that,
and I also hosted monthly live streams every month this year.
Cassie and I also hosted monthly live stream. 라이브 방송을 따라갈 때 호스트를 쓰는구나. 호스트를 쓰는구나. Cassie and I also hosted monthly live stream. Host live streams. Host a live stream. 라이브 방송을 했다. Host a live stream. Hosted monthly live streams every month this year.
It was great to hang out and interact with a lot of you who viewed and participated in the live streams.
And it was great to hang out and interact with a lot of you who viewed and participated in the live streams.
We also did a lot of tweaks and upgrades to our website. We launched a bunch of new features, like a comment section.
We also did a lot of tweaks. We did a lot of tweaks and upgrades to our website. We launched a bunch of new features like a comment section,
in a discussion forum, and we're just about to release a brand new interactive transcripts feature as well.
And we're just about to release a brand new interactive transcript feature. Interactive transcript feature as well.
make learning with our study guides a much better experience, and we're super excited about that, and we can't wait for you all to try it out. So stay tuned for the announcement about that.
Stay tuned for the announcement about that coming up
very soon. We even added a new member to the Culips team this year, and we were so happy to have Anna join us.
We were so happy to have Anna join
us as the new Chatterbox co-host. Anna's been doing a fantastic job as a host, and she's a great teacher as well, and has made a fantastic addition to our team. How about you, listeners? How was your 2021? I think people all over the world had big plans, and maybe for a lot of us, those plans didn't quite work out the way that we had hoped.
Those plans didn't quite work out. Those plans didn't quite work out the way that we had hoped. 우리가 바라던 대로 되지 않는다. Those plans didn't quite work out the way that we had hoped. The way that we had hoped. The way we had hoped.
Many of us believed that in 2021 the COVID pandemic would become less serious and life would return to normal again. That didn't really happen. We're still living through this pandemic as I record this episode, and of course all of the limitations and restrictions that it brings. I think I can speak for almost everyone when I say that I truly hope that next year life finally starts to return back to normal again, and we can start to put COVID behind us and move on with our lives.
How about you listeners? How was your 2021? I think people all over the world had big plans, and maybe for a lot of us those plans didn't quite work out. Those plans didn't quite work out the way that we had hoped. Many of us believe that in 2021 the COVID pandemic would become less serious and life would return to normal again. But that didn't really happen. We're still living through this pandemic as I record this episode, and of course all of the limitations and restrictions that it brings. I think I can speak for almost everyone when I say that I truly hope that next year life will finally start to return back to normal again, and we can start to put COVID behind us and move on with our lives.
Regardless if this year was amazing for you or if it wasn't quite what you were hoping for, I really want to thank each and every one of you who listened, studied, and learned with Culips
this year. Regardless if this year was amazing for you or if it wasn't quite what you were hoping for, I really want to thank each and every one of you who listened, studied, and learned with Culips this year. I really want to thank each and every one of you who listened.
We have listened that it brings. I think I can speak for almost everyone when I say that I truly hope that next year life finally starts to return back to normal again, and we can start to put COVID behind us and move on with our lives. Regardless if this year was amazing for you or if it wasn't quite what you were hoping for, I really want to thank each and every one of you who listened, studied, and learned with Culips this year. We have listeners from all over the world, from all different backgrounds, all different levels of English ability, from beginner all the way up to native speaker. Believe it or not, there are some native speakers who listen to us as well. Some of you guys are casual listeners who tune in now and again, and some of you are hardcore and listen and study with Culips every day. And I have to say that I'm thankful for all of you.
Regardless regardless.
I want it all over the world, from all different backgrounds and all different levels of English ability, that next year life finally starts to return back to normal again, and we can start to put COVID behind us and move on with our lives. Regardless if if this year was amazing for you, or if it wasn't quite what you were hoping for, I really want to thank each and every one of you who listened, studied, and learned with Culips this year.
Every one of you.
We have listeners from all over the world, from all different backgrounds, and all different levels of English ability, from beginner all the way up to native speaker. Believe it or not, there are some native speakers who listen to us as well. Some of you guys are casual listeners who tune in now and again, and some of you are hardcore and listen and study with Culips every day. And I have to say that I'm thankful for all of you.
Regardless if this year was amazing for you or if it wasn't quite what you're hoping for, I really want to thank each and every one of you. Thank each and every one of you who listened, studied, and learned with Culips this year. We have listeners from all over the world, from all different backgrounds and all different levels of English ability, from beginner all the way up to native speaker. Believe it or not, there are some native speakers who listen to us as well. Some of you guys are casual listeners who tune in now and again. Now and again. Now and again. Now and again. Now and again.
From all over the world, from all different backgrounds, all different levels of English ability, from beginner all the way up to native speaker. Believe it or not, there are some native speakers who listen to us as well. Some of you guys are casual listeners who tune in now and again, and some of
tune in now and again, now and again, now and again. Now and again. Casual listeners who tune in now and again.
You are hardcore and listen.
Some of you are hardcore
and study with Culips every day. And I have to say that I'm thankful for all of you. I want to especially thank all the people who went out of their way to support us by leaving a review or a comment or telling your friends about Culips, or even by becoming a Culips member.
I want to especially thank all the people who went out of their way to support us by leaving a review or a comment or telling your friends about Culips, or even by becoming a Culips member.
Support from the Culips community is really what keeps us going, and as you guys know, we don't have any advertisements or sponsors from companies, so we depend totally on the community, and without you all, Culips wouldn't exist. So thanks.
Review or a comment or telling your friends about Culips, or even by becoming a Culips member. Support from the Culips community is really what keeps us going, and as you guys know, we don't have any advertisements or sponsors from companies, so we depend totally on the community, and without you all, Culips wouldn't exist.
For all of your out of their way to support us by leaving a review or a comment or telling your friends about Culips, or even by becoming a Culips member. Support from the Culips community is really what keeps us going, and as you guys know, we don't have any advertisements or sponsors from companies, so we depend totally on the community, and without you all, Culips wouldn't exist. So
wouldn't exist. Without you all, Culips wouldn't exist.
Thanks for all of your help and support over this last year. It's been totally awesome and moving to see. So enough of me babbling on here. Let's hear from some of the Culips team members about how their 2021s went.
So enough of me babbling. On here. Let's hear from some of the Culips team members about how their 2021s went.
We'll start with Cassie because she had a pretty good year. During the most recent live stream that Cassie and I did, which, by the way, you guys can catch the replay of on our YouTube channel, and I'll put the...
We will start with Cassie because she had a pretty good year during the most recent live stream that Cassie and I did, which, by the way, you guys can catch the replay of on our YouTube channel, and
link to that in the...
I will put the link to that
description for this episode if you want to watch it later. But during that live stream, Cassie rated her 2021 as 9 out of 10, which is a pretty high score. So I asked Cassie to summarize her year and talk about some of what she did in 2021. Let's take a listen to what she had to say. He and I did, which, by the way, you guys can catch the replay of on our YouTube channel, and I'll put the link to that in the description for this episode if you want to watch it later. But during that live stream, Cassie rated her 2021 as 9 out of 10, which is a pretty high score. So I asked Cassie to summarize her year and talk about some of what she did in 2021. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
I gotta say, Andrew, 2021 has been pretty amazing. I got engaged. I got to visit America for the first time in a while due to, pandemics going on. And I got my dream job as a high school math and physics teacher, which I'm really loving.
I gotta say, Andrew, 2021 has been pretty amazing. I got engaged. I got to visit America for the first time in a while due to pandemic going on, and I got my dream job as a high school math and physics teacher, which I'm really loving.
Hearing about how great Cassie's year was, I'm wondering if 9 out of 10 is too low of a score.
9 out of 10 is too low of a score.
Sounds like a fairy tale year to me. Getting engaged, going on an amazing trip, getting her dream job. Can you get much better than that? I also asked Cassie,
can you get much better than that? I also asked Cassie
if she accomplished her New Year's
resolutions
and goals for 2021. Let's take a listen to how she answered that question.
Well, if listeners remember, which I talked about it a lot throughout this year, my main goal, my resolution was to read 100 books. And I was close, but I did not read 100 books.
I have to be honest and say that reading 100 books in a year is a pretty daunting goal. Daunting.
Daunting.
I like that word.
I like the word daunting.
D-A-U-N.
D-A-U-N-T-I-N-G.
When we describe something as pretty daunting, it means that it's intimidating and we get a little bit nervous or stressed out just thinking about it. For example, cooking dinner for 10 people would be pretty daunting. Maybe traveling to a foreign country where you can't speak the local language would also be pretty daunting. Starting a new hobby, like lifting weights at the gym or learning to play a new musical instrument, those things can also be pretty daunting. And definitely, reading 100 books is a pretty daunting
And definitely reading 100 books is pretty
goal because
daunting goal
it's really
because
difficult
really difficult
to reach that goal, right? Essentially, you have to read almost 2 books a week, which is a lot of reading. So I'm sure you're all dying to know about how many books Cassie was actually able to read. Of course, I was as well, so I made sure to ask her about it.
Well, it's not quite the end of the year yet, but I have read...
Well, it's not quite the end of the year yet, but I have
at this point
86 books.
I almost count it as a win.
I almost count it as a win.
Used a great expression there. She said that she counted reading 86 books this year as a win. To count something as a win. To count something as a win means to consider it a success. So Cassie's got a really positive attitude. Don't you agree? Even though she didn't reach her goal exactly, she's still considering reading 86 books this year a success. I agree. That is a great success indeed. A question we get asked often here at Culips is, can you recommend an interesting book for me to read? So, since Cassie read so many books this year, I think she's an expert. And I wanted to ask her about the book that she enjoyed the most. And here's what she said.
Wow, that's a hard question. There's two books that I want to recommend because they're actually Netflix shows, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, the first one is a trilogy, the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo.
I hadn't heard of these books before, but I googled them and I found out that they are extremely popular. They were on the New York Times bestsellers list, on Amazon,
bestsellers list on Amazon.com's
editors list, and of course there's a Netflix series as well. It's a fantasy series, so the language in these kind of books can be a little bit difficult to understand at first because there are lots of words that we just don't really use in our everyday lives about magic, weapons, and war, dragons, and all of these topics that are talked about in fantasy novels. However, reading books like this can be an awesome way to deepen your knowledge of English vocabulary beyond the basics. So if fantasy is a genre you enjoy, definitely check these books out. Cassie had one more recommendation, and when I asked her about the second book she'd recommend, she said the following.
It's called The Three-Body Problem by Li Shu-jin. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. He's a Chinese author, very famous. I'm reading the translated works in English.
And guys, if you've read any good English books lately, please make sure to leave a comment on Culips.com and let us know. I think a lot of other listeners out there would love to know about books to read, and of course I'd be interested to know as well. Let's move on to Anna now, the newest member of our team. Anna joined Culips in June, and it's been so fun getting to work with her this year.
It's been so fun getting to work with her this year.
Anna's from England, which means that she has a different accent and speaking style than the rest of the Culips hosts because, well, the rest of us speak with North American accents.
the American
So
accent.
Anna has brought the UK accent to Culips, and I'm so glad you guys can get to learn from her. Part of becoming a fluent English speaker means being able to understand how all English speakers speak, not just the ones from North America. So I'm really happy that Anna is now teaching all of us about the fascinating style of UK English. And I talked with Anna about her 2021 and how it went, and here's what she had to say.
My 2021 was interesting. I have to say it was a little bit stressful. I've learned a lot. So my year was, to be honest, a lot about working really hard. So I've had to do a lot of things and I've had a lot on my plate, but
so I've had to do a lot of things and I've had a lot on my plate.
I feel like I've made a lot of progress, even though actually probably it's been a more difficult year for me than 2020. But I'm still working hard. I'm keeping going. I'm a trooper, so I'm looking forward to doing more things in 2022.
Sounds like Anna had a really busy year, doesn't it? I love some of the expressions that she used when answering that question. She said that she had a lot on her plate, which means that she was really busy with work. If you have a lot on your plate, it means that you have a lot of work or many tasks to do. Let's hear Anna say that again, a couple of more times.
I've had a lot on my plate, but I feel like I've made a lot of progress. I've had a lot on my plate, but I feel like I've made a lot of progress.
So she had a lot on her plate. She had a lot of work to do, but she's made a lot of progress and got a lot of work done. That's awesome. I also asked Anna if she achieved all the things she wanted in 2021. Here's how she responded to that question.
Absolutely not. No, I never achieve all the things I want to achieve, but I did make a lot of progress with some things, but there's still things on my list that I have to do, so I need to work on being a little bit more efficient, and
I need to work on being a little bit more efficient,
trying to manage my time a little bit better. But I did do something, but more things to do. There's always more things.
I love this answer because it reminds me of the way that I think about life often as well. There's always more things to do, more lists to make, more goals to achieve, more places to go, more books to read, more words to learn, and so on and so on and so on. More. It's what makes life interesting. I also asked Anna about the highlights for 2021. Here's what she had to say.
Running my course for the first time, my confident presentations course, which was really exciting for me, and to do something that I'm really interested in, and also just building my things and my channels and going on holiday and going to the mountains a little bit. So there's a couple of highlights. I don't have one, but yeah, those are probably my highlights of 2021.
Now, if you guys haven't heard Anna's other podcast, especially those of you who are learning English for business purposes, definitely check it out. It's called Anna with two N's English, and it's a fun and helpful business English podcast. I'll put the link in the description for this episode, so make sure to take a listen to Anna with two N's and show Anna your support. Are you curious about Suzanne too? Sue, even though she's visiting her family for the holidays in Texas right now, so she didn't have her microphone with her, but we were still able to connect and talk about how her year went. I asked her to sum up how 2021 was for her, and this is what she told me.
In a nutshell, my 2021 was okay. It was pretty good. We had to postpone our wedding, but we did more travel, which was totally on our bucket list for this year. And going to France and being able to plan our wedding was really cool. Tasting all of the food, drinking the champagne, seeing the location.
Talk about how her year went. I asked her to sum up how 2021 was for her, and this is what she told me.
In a nutshell, my 2021 was okay. It was pretty good. We had to postpone our wedding, but we did more travel, which was totally on our bucket list for this year. And going to France and being able to plan our wedding was really cool. Tasting all of the food, drinking the champagne, seeing the location where we will be married. That was really cool. And we got to come here for the holidays here in Texas to see my family and my nephew, which was really cool. Getting to spend Christmas together after almost 12 years apart was really, really a highlight.
In a nutshell, I love that. That's an expression that we can use when
In a nutshell, I love that. That's an expression that we can use
we want to summarize something. So instead of giving us all the details about 2021, Sue just told us a summary. So she introduced that summary with the expression in a nutshell. She said, in a nutshell, my 2021 was okay. So Sue has some wedding updates that happened to her this year as well. Oh my gosh, so many wedding things happened to the Culips team in 2021. Of course, I got married, Cassie got engaged, and unfortunately, due to the ongoing pandemic situation, Suzanne had to delay her wedding plans until next year, but she did get to visit France and plan her wedding though, and she told us all about that trip in the last Simplified Speech episode, number 135. So if you haven't heard that story yet, definitely go back and check that episode out. Suzanne and her partner Olivier also got new jobs this year, which is really exciting, and I want to pass on my congrats to both of them for that wonderful achievement. Let's listen to Suzanne describe these brand new jobs.
So I started working at the university in the theater department in Montreal, and Olivier, my partner, got a new job managing a big team of people working on transportation, mobility, construction, really how the city moves.
Now finally, before I wrap up here, I'll quickly talk about 2021 for me. To be honest, it was an awesome year that saw a bunch of huge life changes for me. I got married in May and moved into a new apartment with my wife and our dog Pinky in June. My wife and I both worked from home all year this year because of the pandemic. And actually, we continue to both work from home. So that's meant that we can spend a lot of time together and eat lunch together every day. And so that's been really great. Now, all of these life changes meant that I wasn't quite as productive with my personal goals as I had hoped to be in 2021. So for example, I think many of you know that I love to go running. That's one of my hobbies. And last year, I completed almost 3,000 kilometers of running. But this year, I only ran around 950 kilometers, which is a huge decrease from 2020. I think that drop is because now that we have our dog Pinky, we have to walk him 3 or 4 times a day. And actually, he's staring at me right now. Everyone, he wants to go outside for a walk. So as soon as I complete this recording, I'll take him for a walk. Now, usually after taking him for his walk, I feel too lazy to go outside again for a run. So I guess either way, I'm being active, whether I'm running or walking Pinky, and I probably walked more this year than I did in 2020, but I guess it's a little disappointing to see my number drop this year compared to last year. I also had the goal of reading 10 novels in Korean for 2021. For those of you who don't know, Korean is my second language, and I've been learning it for around 7 years now. I live in Seoul, and my wife is Korean, so learning the language is a big priority for me. I did fall short of this goal, however. I ended up reading 6 Korean novels this year. Like Cassie, I'm still going to consider this a win. The time I spent reading Korean novels really helped me build my vocabulary and understanding of Korean sentence structure, and I just feel like it really helped develop my overall language skills skills
language
as a
skills
whole.
as a whole.
I probably also
also
spoke more
spoke
Korean
more
this year
Korean
than
this
any
year
other
than
year in
any
the
other year
past,
in the
and
past.
according
And
to my
according
study
to my
stats
study
that,
stats that,
like the nerd
like
I
the
am,
nerd
I
I
track
am,
on my
I track on my
computer, I
computer.
studied
I
for
studied for
around
around
340 days
340
this year.
days in this
The
year.
days I missed
The
were
days I
around
missed
my
were
wedding and
around
when I
my
was on my
wedding,
honeymoon and some other
honeymoon, and some
holidays,
other
so I don't really
holidays, so I
feel
don't
bad
really
about
feel
taking
bad
that
about
time
taking
off
that
at
time
all.
off at all.
Overall, I'm really
Overall,
happy
I'm
with
really
my
happy
language
with
learning
my language
progress this
learning
year.
progress
I
this
say
year.
this
I say
around this
this
time
around
each
this
year,
time
but the
each
most
year, but the
important
most
thing
important
that will
thing that will
guarantee
guarantee
ultimate success
ultimate
when learning
success
a
will
second
learning
language
a second
is
language is
consistency. If you
consistency.
keep
If
coming
you
back to the
keep coming
language,
back to the
keep
language,
spending
keep
time with it
spending
daily,
time with
the
it
results
daily,
will come
the
and your
result will
fluency
come
will
and your
increase.
fluency will
Overall this
increase.
year, I
Overall
think I
this
can
year, I
safely
think I
say
can
that I
safely
practiced
say
what I
that I
preached
practiced that
and I made a
I
consistent
made a
effort
consistent
throughout the
effort
year
throughout the year
that
that
I'm
I'm
satisfied with.
satisfied with.
My
My
goal for
goal
language
for language
learning and Korean
learning and
studies
Korean
next
studies
year is
next
going to
year
be the
is
same.
going to be the
Don't
same.
quit.
Don't quit.
Keep going.
Keep
Stay
going. Stay
consistent. All of these
consistent.
things.
All of the things.
And along the way, I'll make
Along the
sure to
way,
enjoy
I'll make
myself
sure
as
to
much
enjoy
as
myself as
possible
much
by
as possible
studying
by
with the
studying
things
with
that
the
I
things
find
that I
interesting,
find
like
interesting,
novels,
like
movies,
novels,
and
movies,
of
and
course,
of course,
podcasts.
podcasts.
So I'm going to
So
wrap
I'm
things
gonna
up
wrap
here,
things up
everyone.
here,
Thanks again
everyone.
so
Thanks
much for
again so
learning
much
English
for
with
learning
Culips in
English with Culips in
2021. And if you'd
2021.
like to
And if
get
you'd like to get
serious about
serious
learning
about
English
learning
in
English in
2022, well,
2022,
Culips
well,
is here
Culips
to
is
help.
here to help.